So internal structure of monocot stem. So internal structure of monocot stem example, we take the specific example this as an example. And this is also primary structure. This is a TS of the stem, transfer section of the stem. We'll take the ground plan. Ground plan depicts all internal structures, and this is more or less circular, not maybe more or less circular. More or less circular, and it is covered by a cuticle. The entire stem is covered by cuticle. The next to epidermis is a bone of sclerenchyma, that is called hypodermis, and this is the entire ground tissue in which we will see vascular bundles. These vascular bundles are skull-shaped vascular bundle, and in the ground plan we cannot see the details very well. When we go for a sector enlarge, we will see all that. The parts. Epidermis, outside cuticle, hypodermis, and ground tissue, and vascular bundles. This is the internal structure of the monocot cell. Example makes. We will see a sector enlarge, a portion enlarge. We will cut portion like this, and that portion is enlarged. Epidermis, it is made up of single layer of parenchyma cells, and when you compare the number of stomata found in this with that of the dicot stem, here the number of stomata are lesser, and it is covered by a thick cuticle. In monocot, the cuticle is thick; in dicot, the cuticle is thin. Number of stomata are lesser, and next to that is the hypodermis. The hypodermis is made up of sclerenchyma cells. The sclerenchyma cells are not continuous. 2 to 3 layers of sclerenchyma cells form the hypodermis. And the continuity of hypodermis has been interrupted by the presence of chlorenchyma cells here and there. That is one of the important characteristic feature of monocot stem. The hypodermis is not continuous. It is sclerenchyma. See, what is the function of cuticle? Cuticle checks transpiration. Epidermis gives protection. And sclerenchyma, here hypodermis sclerenchyma gives mechanical support to the plant body. And we know that the chlorenchyma involves in photosynthesis. So, we will mark that this is cuticle. What is the cuticle made of? Cutin, a waxy substance, and epidermis, and this is hypodermis made of sclerenchyma, and this structure is called chlorenchyma. See here the hypodermis is sclerenchyma. The hypodermis sclerenchyma is not continuous. It is interrupted by the presence of chlorenchyma here and there continuously. So if you see in the ground plan, if you consider this as the hypodermis this one, and here and there, like patches, there may be chlorenchyma cells. And next to that is the general cortex. This line is not found. This is just to understand. And we will draw a vascular bundle here and another vascular bundle here. Each vascular bundle, and let's see the nature of vascular bundle. See in dicot that was conjoined collateral open end arc. This is conjoined collateral closed. This is very important point. Closed and end arc. Xylem is end arc. And the shape of the vascular bundle is skull shaped. Skull shaped. And how are the vascular bundle? Whether they are found in the form of a ring? No, they are scattered. So scattered. If you understand these things, it will be clear. And each vascular bundle is covered by a sheath of sclerenchyma. So bundle sheath. Here the bundle sheath is made of sclerenchyma cells. We should understand that first. But in dicot, such demarcating structure is not found. Sclerenchymatous bundle sheath. Bundle cap is not present. Instead, bundle sheath is present. The vascular bundle, you see phloem. This is primary phloem and xylem, metaxylem, protoxylem. And this structure is filled with parenchyma cells or fibers, phloem fibers or xylem fibers like this. So the same structure goes here too. And this ground tissue is made up of parenchyma cells with a lot of intercellular spaces. See you can see one peculiar character in the monocot stem. Ground tissue is made up of parenchyma cells. The cells at the periphery, this point should be noted. The cells at the periphery are smaller, sometimes polygonal due to mutual pressure, and the cells toward the center are largely arranged or gradually enlarged in size. If the cells are smaller, when you move towards the center, little by little the size is going on increasing, and the cells at the center are bigger. This is the characteristic, one of the special characteristic feature of monocot stem. The same way, you can see that here. Bundles at the periphery are smaller. Towards the center, the bundles are gradually becoming bigger. So, the ground tissue, cells of the ground tissue are gradually becoming bigger towards the center. The bundles are also gradually becoming bigger. So, this is the nature. And we will see what is scattered. What is scattered? Scattered, the bundles are not arranged in the uniform pattern. They are found here and there in the ground tissue. So this nature is called scattered arrangement. Then what is the shape of the bundle? The shape is skull shaped. Skull shaped or oval, the variously shaped. And conjoint. What is conjoint? Xylem and phloem are arranged in the same radius. That is called conjoint. Phloem towards periphery, xylem towards center. That is called collate. Then closed. What is closed? In between xylem and phloem, a tissue by name cambium, as it is found in the case of dicot cell, is not found. So this is closed. Now, in other words, we can say that this structure is not going to involve in secondary growth. The bundle is not going to be opened for the secondary growth, and so it is called closed. And endark, as we know, xylem, protoxylem is towards the center, metaxylem is towards the periphery. This is called endark. This is called endark. And parenchyma cells, so ground tissue. What is the function of ground tissue? Ground tissue is homogeneous. It is made up of parenchyma. The ground tissue is not differentiated into extracellular ground tissue, intracellular ground tissue, cortex, pith, medullary, etc. And we cannot find a structure peripheral like structure here. And what is the function of this? This involves in storage. And the phloem here, this is a ground tissue, as we said, ground tissue. And we name it as bundle sheath. What is the bundle sheath made of? Sclerenchyma. And this is primary phloem. And this is metaxylem, and this is protoxylem. So the structure is over. Now development of xylem. See, during the development, the first formed xylem elements are called metaxylem. The first formed xylem elements are protoxylem. The laterally formed xylem elements are called metaxylem. In matured vascular bundle, the lowest protoxylem point, see here, the lowest protoxylem point disintegrates. Lowest protoxylem point disintegrates and forms a cavity. Disintegrate and forms a cavity. So this is called protoxylem lacunae. Protoxylem lacunae. So how is the protoxylem, important question, how is the protoxylem lacunae formed? Whether lysogenically or schizogenically? Lysogenous. These protoxylem lacunae are produced because of the disintegration of protoxylem, lowest protoxylem point. Lowest protoxylem point. In what way? Lysogenous in origin, lysogenically. So the cells of protozoa are disintegrated. In that place a cavity is produced. Right. Here as I said, the ground tissue is not differentiated. At the center, nothing is there. It is filled with parenchyma cells and bundles. But in the case of grasses, Gramiaceae, a cavity may be found in the place of the cells. Cavity may be found, and that is called pith cavity. Pith cavity is not found in all cases, all monocots, but in grasses a cavity, hollow chamber is found, that is called pith cavity. Pith cavity is found in grasses. The cells are disintegrated. This is also lysogenic, and a cavity is called pith cavity. This is found in the case of grasses. So this is the entire structure of monocot cell. Let's sum up. See the outer layer, epidermis, and that is covered by thick cuticle, no multicellular ads. Stomata are less in number. Next to that, the function of epidermis is giving protection, cuticle checks transpiration. Next to that is hypodermis. Hypodermis is made up of sclerenchyma. It is not a continuous layer. Its continuity has been interrupted by the presence of chlorenchyma. The next zone is actually we should call that as the cortex, intracellular cortex, extracellular. That such difference is not found here. The entire structure is called ground tissue. The ground tissue is made up of homogeneous tissue, that is parenchyma. The parenchyma cells are smaller in size at the periphery. Gradually they are becoming bigger towards the center, and the cells, the ground cells of the ground tissue are bigger at the center, smaller at the periphery. But this enlargement takes place gradually from the periphery towards the center. And so here we cannot mark out the cortex, primary medullary vein, pith, etc. This is general ground tissue. In the ground tissue, vascular bundles are scattered. Vascular bundles are scattered. So scattered vascular bundle. And when you see the size of the vascular bundle also, they are smaller at the periphery, towards the center they are becoming bigger. So smaller vascular bundles at the periphery, bigger vascular bundles at the center, and they are becoming bigger gradually towards the center. And each vascular bundle is covered by a sheath of sclerenchyma, that is called bundle sheath. And inside that there is protoxylem, there is a protofloem, metaxylem and protoxylem. First form xylem are called protoxylem, laterally form xylem called metaxylem. Metaxylem vessels are always bigger. And this is skull shaped and conjoined collateral closed. What is closed? In between phloem and xylem there is no cambium, no secondary growth is taking place, and so it is called closed vascular bundle. And in mature vascular bundle, what happens? In mature vascular bundle, you see the xylem vessels, actually in the beginning xylem vessels are arranged in the form of a letter Y. This is additionally, you should have been told already. Xylem vessels are arranged in the form of a letter Y. Metaxylem vessels are at the upper arm, protoxylem vessels are at the lower arms. We compare this structure with this. In mature vascular bundle, the lowest protoxylem point disintegrates and a cavity is produced lysogenically, and that is called protoxylem lacunae. No secondary growth as there is no cambium. But in the case of smilax, euca, smilax, aloe, drosina, in all these cases we can find secondary growths. These are example for the monocot plants where secondary growth takes place, but in general no secondary growth takes place in the monocot. The reason is that there is no intrafascicular cambium. The bundles are closed. Now is the anatomical differences between dicot and monocot. If you understand the differences on the whole, the structure can be remembered well. So anatomical differences. between dicot and monocot stem. Straight dicot stem first. The monocot stem. See, multicellular hairs. Multicellular hairs are present in dicot stem. In most of the dicot stem, multicellular hairs are present, and in monocot stem, multicellular hair absent. This is point number 1. Point number 2. Epidermal cells are rectangular. And smaller, and these epidermal cells are larger, and the number of stomata in the epidermal cells, more number of stomata. So number of stomata are more in the dicot, the epidermis, even in the stem, more number of stomata. So here stomata, you have few, sometimes absent. And cuticle. Cuticle is thin. Cuticle is thin. Cuticle is thick. Then internally see what is the next structure? Hypodermis. In dicot stem, hypodermis is made up of column. The hypodermis is made up of sclerenchyme. Then cortex in dicot is differentiated into hypodermis, then chlorenchyma, parenchyma, endodermis, pericycle, pith, etc. Cortex and ground tissue. We can say ground tissue. Ground tissue is differentiated into hypodermis, chlorenchyma, parenchyma, endodermis, pericycle, pith, and primary, medullary. The ground tissue is not differentiated. Not differentiated into different zones. Here, next is starch sheath. Is present. In monocot, starch sheath is absent. Pericycle, starch sheath plus pericycle. Starch sheath and pericycle is present. Starch sheath plus pericycle is absent. And when you come to vascular bundles What is the nature of vascular bundle? Vascular bundles are arranged in a form of ring. Vascular bundles. Vascular bundles are arranged in the form of a ring, and that is called U-stick. Here vascular bundles are arranged. Vascular bundles are scattered. Vascular bundles are scattered. And what is the shape of the vascular bundle? Wedge shaped. Wedge shaped vascular bundle. Here vascular bundles are skull shaped. And 10th point. Again, vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral, open, and the xylem is end-arc. Here only one difference. Here two conjoint, collateral, closed, and end-arc. Closed, here it is open. Presence of cambium makes it open, absence of cambium makes it closed. And pith and medullary ray. Primary, medullary rays present. It is not marked out. So these are the differences between dicot and monocot stem. In general, if you see very specifically with the special reference, the points will be lesser. And this is the general difference between dicot and monocot stem.